live. Combine Academy. Hoop State game day with the boys. Rob Bridges, Miles Massacola, Anthony Simmons. Hoop State championships, semifinals. It's a big day.
Big day. It's what these guys have been waiting for all year, what they've been working for all season, and I think we have the four best independent teams in the state ready to duke it out, and it's going to be fun. We got Trenton Flowers getting ready for his commitment behind us, so it's a big day for many reasons, and I'm just excited. These two games tonight are going to be awesome.
No, absolutely. This has been a culmination of a great high school basketball season. Last weekend, we were able to see the public school guys being crown state champions. Now this week, we're going to get the independent crown with the biggest trophy in high school sports. So it's been an amazing year of basketball, and I'm just looking forward to these last 2 days here to finish strong.
For sure. I think the biggest thing tonight is, like, we're going to see a different level of competitiveness that we've seen from four teams that have exhibited that all year long. First up, 1-of-1, taking on Winston-Salem Christian. Simmons, I want to start with you. Like, what are your expectations for that game, and who do you think could kind of be a key component for what they bring?
Both games tonight, I think, are going to be high energy, highly competitive. This game is very interesting because, like, both of these teams are similar. I think with their identities, with the way they guard, with their physicality, and also, like, their full court pressure.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. Rob, what you got?
No, absolutely. Two teams they exude a lot of toughness throughout this season. They guard well. 1-on-1 has that kind of that havoc style defensively where they create a lot of turnovers to generate offense. And I love LJ Rush, man. I'm a huge fan. I mean, that freshman backcourt, man, they're just special. So it's gonna be a fun game between them and Winston-Salem Christian. Last night we saw Winston-Salem Christian literally take up the entire court with their length when they're in that zone, and like. In a high school basketball space, that's hard to compete against. When your back line goes 7 foot, 6'10", 6'7", so that's gonna be a tough, tall task for 1-on-1, but it's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off Rod, I think what separates this game is the three-point shot.
Yeah.
Yesterday, when Salem Christian was able to hit some threes, with LJ, same thing for 1-on-1. With him. Also, his backcourt mate,
Johannes Connor.
Johan, his ability to not only make shots but make high-level plays at the rim. I think, like, whichever team their guards hit the more perimeter shots will have the advantage going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the biggest thing too, like, to have two freshman game-breaking guards, and to have them have this experience, they're going to grow on it. And the other thing is, like, they don't know any better than to play fearless.
Facts.
And that where sometimes youth can hurt you. And I think that in this way, youth can help them. Tayshawn Smith gave them great minutes. They've had a really, really good season up to this point, and they have the full intention of making big things happen today against Winston-Salem Christian. They got the win over Piedmont Classical last night. Dominant defensive performance. And for Winston-Salem Christian, like Rod said, like, that might be one of the best, like, unit defensive performance I've seen all season long, like, at any level. And for Winston-Salem Christian, if they can find a way to take care of the basketball and get guys like Isaiah Washington and Felipe Patino good looks from the perimeter, they're going to have a good chance tonight. But 1-of-1, they're just a tough team to play against. Like, what they provide on that level, on that end of the floor defensively, is just different. And it's really difficult to not only play against, but to game plan for and kind of prepare for.
And one thing you have to mention with 1-on-1, they have absolutely nothing to lose.
Nothing.
All season it's been the top three teams. We've always talked about Winston-Salem Christian, Combine, Word of God, and then everybody else is kind of in the next tier. 1-on-1 literally has nothing to lose this game. If they win this game, it means everything for them in their program. But if they lose, people are expecting it. So
yeah, they're a young team.
When you have that type of mentality coming here, you're fearless, nothing to lose, anything can happen. Definitely.
And then last night we saw Word of God kind of struggle a little bit, getting in a row, but end up getting a nice cushion at the end and holding on to it against GBB. Isaiah Coleman, big-time game, had 34, I believe. And then Combine Academy just was in control throughout against the regional team. Big-time performance from Colin Tanner, was making shots. Silas Demery made big-time plays as well. And Trenton Flowers looked really, really locked in and focused. If that big three is going along with Raquise just flying around the rim, that game tonight has a chance to be just a Hoop State instant classic. Simmons, what are your thoughts on this one?
I agree with you. It's history. And let's start with Word of God. Like, Word of God, since the beginning of the Hoop State Championship, has always wanted to birth in the championship game, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something.
They've come
like,
very close.
That's the next step, the next level for them from a program standpoint. They've always gotten big wins nationally. They always have a ton of talent, but they've never been in striking distance of that trophy. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, the motivation for them. For Combine, you're at home, and they're salty with, the situation in their last tournament with Moravian, putting themselves in a position in the tournament they won the championship the previous year. Like the coaches and some of the core of that crew came up short, but not only came up short, kind of got spanked in the second half. A barrage of threes, and I think that game can serve them well for this. For Word of God to win this game, it needs to be a balanced attack. It's going to be individual talents like scoring the basketball at will, at a high level whenever they want. The thing about we always notice about Combine, though, is if Combine's bigs show up, they're a different team. If Combine is hitting threes, they're a different team. Any one of those things can happen at home. I feel like now seeing them at home, it was a different level of comfort than I've seen before.
Yeah, for sure. Rod, what you got on this one?
So for Combine, man, you know, like they came into this tournament, they looked so relaxed last night, like they're poised, it's ready to play. The seniors are ready to go out on a high note, and you saw what the performance Colin Tanner put on, shooting performance of the ages last night. Every time he touched it, I feel like, I don't know if he missed last night, maybe missed one shot, but for like Simmons said, if Combine's making shots, Trenton came out, hit 2 threes early. Then you had Colin going to Silas hit a couple shots as well too. If those guys at the perimeter are making shots, what that does is that open those driving lanes for Silas, for Trent and Keese and things like that. And that's when they're hard to beat. For Word of God, it's simple for them. And this has been Word of God 1.0, and this has been Word of God 2.0. When they share the basketball, they are an extremely hard team to beat. Yesterday, they had chances to put GBB away really early. They'll go up 9 or 10, so then they'll start to go back to kind of isolation ball, kind of let me do me type things, and allow GBB to get back in the game. That late third quarter, early fourth quarter push, when Word of God started sharing the ball more, getting this back in the extra pass, making the right basketball play, that's when the game broke open. So for Word of God, it's just simple. They had the most from top to bottom. Nobody would ever disagree that they had the most talent in this tournament. But when they share the basketball, they are a different basketball team, and that's got to be the message from. And I know the coaches, I know they've been preaching all year. We watched the documentaries with them. It's just sharing the ball, sharing the sugar, man. That's all.
Yeah, for real. And we saw Isaiah Coleman put together a really special individual performance last night. Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn probably had his worst game in a Word of God jersey. I'm sure he's looking to bounce back. Myar Walsh struggled. So if they're able to get 2 or all 3 of those guys going, like you said, Rod, they're a very, very difficult team to beat, and that's going to start with sharing the ball. I thought Mekhi Grant did a good job in lieu of Jaden Quaintance last night. There's some talk that Jaden Quaintance might try to give it a go today. We'll see what he does.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. But regardless, whether he plays or not, they're going to need Grant and guys like Zion Collins, Justin Mondin running the show, and it's going to fall a lot on guys like Dre and Justin to make sure they get guys like Isaiah Coleman and Myar in spots where they're comfortable and good looks, and obviously knocking down open shots themselves. But you know, the last time these two teams played, it was a very different Word of God team. The personnel was different. It came down to the last shot. Davin Cosby had a chance to send the game to overtime, couldn't get it to fall. It was very much felt like a coin toss basketball game where both teams were really, really going at it, and both teams had a chance to win. I expect nothing less tonight. I think it's going to be a classic game. It's going to be really fiery, competitive, and I think you're going to see what this event means to these teams in these 2 games tonight.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
So, any other key storylines y'all kind of want to touch on before we wrap this thing up soon?
No, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys come out and compete tonight and see if they can, see who can put together a full 32 minutes of basketball. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So.
Yeah. So for those that didn't hear, Webb basically asked about the importance of Justin Mondin kind of being a table setter for this Word of God team.
I think it's very important in today's matchup because, like, I think him and Dre both have to have 15-point games along with passing the basketball because, like, there's a significant size advantage in this game, and the equalizer is them being quick, getting to their spots, and then being able to Mondin. It starts with the mid-range, and then it starts with the 3-ball. With Dry, it starts with the transition threes. Like that's one thing I noticed.
Stop and pop.
Yeah, he'll stop and pop. Then if he's hitting those, then now he has the ability to play above the rim. You know what I'm saying? Those passes to the backside to Mayor wide open. So I think it starts with him because Combine's going to pressure them.
Yeah, for sure. And Yeah. No, Rob, what do you think about that?
No, I absolutely agree. Justin's a big, integral part of Word of God, and late in the season, he's finally got an opportunity to show the type of talent that he is. You know, this year it's been a roller coaster year for Justin, and you know, one thing I do respect about him is the fact that he came in every day and he worked his tail off, and he didn't complain. You know, he just played the role that was given, whether it was 20 minutes or it was 5 minutes. But late in the season, he's been an integral part of Word of God in terms of getting the offense in sets and making shots, being a defender, mixing it up. You know, you saw the thing with the kid from the Dreamers.
Yeah, T.J. Clark.
T.J. Clark, yeah. So
he's a fearless kid too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I think it's just a testament of just a kid just staying the course. You know, we sometimes we preach with kids sometimes that we want everything right away. Sometimes you got to stay ready until your numbers call. When your numbers call, you got to be ready, and that's one thing that Justin's done this year. So I'm definitely proud of him, definitely the growth that he's made. So I'm looking forward to see his next chapter as well.
Yeah, so for sure. And I think in Mondin, there's going to be a lot of college coaches here tonight. He's still an available kid, so definitely a big opportunity for him, next level perspective there. Trenton Flowers is about to decide. This will be the last thing we talk about. Quick predictions, fellas.
I'm gonna go L's up, man. I think Louisville's a good choice for him. You know, you've seen those big wings at Louisville that kind of handle the ball, facilitate, score from 3 different
Jordan
levels.
Nwora.
Exactly, and that's kind of the role that I can see Trenton fit in Louisville. So that's my guess. I don't know, so I don't know, but that's my guess.
No clue.
No clue.
No clue. I mean, I would, if I would say best fit for what he has, I would agree with Rod. Just being at the season they had, and just being that it's a fresh start. You know what I'm saying? I think it's an opportunity where you come in and
lay the foundation.
Yeah, you can lay the foundation, and you know what I'm saying, and just be able to play his game. And I think that's the most important thing, is he has to be somewhere where there's offensive continuity and rhythm, because he's a rhythm guy. You know what I'm saying? And Louisville's threes, or small forwards, that's how they play.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to end up going to Louisville. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know. Outside chance would be Creighton. I know there's a connection there, but I think for with what Kenny Payne has assembled the last few days, getting a guy like Sky Clark in, getting a really high upside big like Dennis Evans, adding a guy like Trenton Flowers into the mix, just kind of makes sense. And it feels like it's kind of their time after definitely the worst year in program history
by far,
for a school that many consider on that blue blood fringe, and a program that is super, super proud, has won national championships over multiple decades. So it's going to be exciting to see. Our friends at 247 Sports are going to have that live on their YouTube, so after you're done, be sure to check that out as well and see where our guy Purple Flowers is going.
Also tomorrow, we just confirmed with him, he's going to come on our Hoop State live show tomorrow, and he's going to talk about a decision, and we're going to chop it up with him as well too. So
for sure,
y'all stay tuned for that as well.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and be sure to tune in tonight. HoopStateLive.com has you covered. 6:30, 1-of-1 prep, Winston-Salem Christian, and then at 8, Combine Academy and Word of God will rematch for the second time this season. It's going to be a fun one. Be on the call. Can't wait to have you all there. See y'all soon.
For the love we in this, we ain't gotta make cash from it. Get the rock to Simmons, guaranteed he make that bucket. Money in the bank, kick it to Ray. His shot like Allen, wanna see the footage, Donnie and Max. They got the cameras and ride automatic, can't let this guy shoot. But they can dump it down to pasta for them inside scoops. And Webb holds it all together, won't find a glue trace. Keep your shoes laced if you pull up on the hoop.